All right, folks, welcome to this webinar and group session titled Free Yourself from Self-Doubt and Live the Life You Were Meant For. I chose this topic and title. Oh, I see someone just messaged me saying they found the link and they're coming on as well. Um, Here we go. Let me pause for a moment, let her in. Hey, Shauna, welcome. Glad you made it.
Hi guys. Hi.
Welcome. Great to see you. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. All your emails go to my spam folder, so I was having a bit of a trouble trying to find your emails.
Apologies about that. Hopefully maybe that'll shift as I don't know. I guess you've been getting them for a while, so
Yeah, I think some of them come in through my inbox and some of them don't, so I'll just have to tell my inbox to stop doing that.
got it. Got it. All right. Well, thanks for joining today. I was just getting started, so now you're here. We will fully get started.
Awesome.
Awesome. All right. So thank you everyone for joining this webinar slash group session titled Free Yourself from Self-Doubt and Live the Life You Were Meant For. I chose this topic because I figured everyone could relate to it. Everyone has struggled with self-doubt to some degree, and all of us who are living intentional and passionate lives are aiming to really more so embody and live into the life that really feels right for us, the life that really lights us up, right? So I wanted to craft an experience that genuinely supports that intention. How many of you are here because you've had your own direct, strong experiences of self-doubt holding you back from the life you really want to be living,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. And how many of you have tried lots of things to shift that and support yourself and and move beyond self-doubt in your life, right? I think all of you here have been on, as far as I know about each of you, you've been on a self-development path and a focused path for a long time, right? So again, I'm honored to have you here to be diving deep with me in this session today. Today, my aim in the next 60 minutes is to share with you principles, tools, and an experience that will genuinely support you in even more living with courage, confidence, and clarity like never before. How's that sound?
sounds exactly what we need.
Awesome. Awesome. So, I'd like to start off with just an opening, very simple meditation and breathing practice, just to center in and cruise into the session here. So, as you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes. See if you can sit in a way that you can get your spine straight and you can find that combination of being in a comfortable, natural position, but also upright, chest open, spine straight. And see if you can sit in a way and subtly feel that the way you sit naturally stacks each vertebrae on top of the other. Just making little micro adjustments. Again, not out of rigidity and not out of I'm supposed to sit a certain way, but out of like a genuine stacking of your spine and alignment. And then become aware of your breath, right? The first step to centering ourselves, if we ever find we're getting in our head, that voice of self-doubt is really coming in strong. Instead of the voice of self-doubt being a catalyst for collapsing within ourselves, let right off the bat, let's talk about a strategy of hearing that voice of self-doubt and letting it be a catalyst to slow down and tune into our breath so that we can center in the moment and feel what's actually real. So right now, find a rhythm where you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And do it in a way that, again, feels deep and smooth and natural, a natural rhythm for you. Feel your breath, feel your mind centering and settling in this moment as we enter this intentional session together. Feel the strength of your spine, and then allow the front surface of your body to soften and open. And just recognize simply that this initial, very simple tool and strategy of slowing down, tuning your breath, feeling the strength of your spine, opening the front surface of your body. This is a first step to opening to greater possibility, to you developing the confidence within yourself to say, you know what, even when that voice of self-doubt comes in, I can center myself. I know myself. I can allow for a greater wisdom and depth to flow through. Take one more deep breath in and a full exhale. You can open your eyes. And then just simply take a moment and reflect on what do you feel was beneficial about that simple practice right there? And I'd love it if you just write a sentence or two in the chat. What was beneficial just right here, right now for you doing that practice? Maybe a small shift that you felt, maybe a small insight that came through. Coming out of doing and going into being. Yes, thank you. Settle into my body and thoughts slowed down. Yes, that's awesome. Connection and peace. Love it. So, the voice of self-doubt. We've all experienced it. Sometimes it's this subtle whisper, subtle voice in the background. No, I don't think I'll actually be able to do that. No, I don't think I'm actually smart enough or capable enough to make that happen, right? Joshua, reduced anxiety and adrenaline. Yes, that's great. Sometimes it's a loud yelling within. Don't do that. That's not a good idea. What if this happens? What if that happens? Fear of taking a risk, trauma from the past, right? What if I make things worse? What if I look like an idiot? Sometimes the self-doubt can show up just in like just deeply rooted limiting beliefs that we just think are normal, like of course, like that we don't even question, right? Sometimes there's limiting beliefs we live with that we don't even question. But as we're on our personal development journey, we uncover those and become more conscious of those. The subconscious becomes more conscious. And once things become more conscious, then we have more ability to make a choice on whether we want to invest in that, believe that or not, right? So what we can also recognize about doubt and self-doubt is that everyone experiences it. Everyone experiences it to some degree. Even the people that we see who are that in our lives or our realm, our field, are the most successful people in the world, they experience it too. And it's important to remember that. It's important not to get stuck in our own inner narrative and say, gosh, look at them. They're not experiencing this. What's wrong with me? But the truth is, everyone experiences it to some degree. Whenever we're stepping out on our edge, when we're going for something new, there's always going to be, whether you'd call it doubt or some nervousness or some questioning of yourself. That's just part of the journey. And so with that, so I'm going to continue to just share some principles, some core principles that I've identified around this dynamic with self-doubt. And so this is where for anything, and these may have been things that you've reflected on, right? But you can take this intentional time to allow it to sink in even deeper. Or maybe there's some new points that I'll share with you, some points that I'll share with you that are new to you. Great. Take those notes down, take what resonates, right? Um, and then I want to guide you all through an experience so that you all have a genuine shift and valuable experience, inner experience today as well. So, core principle number one, as I was just sharing, everyone experiences this doubt in some lesser or more degree, right? So, number one core principle here is making a choice, making a conscious choice about which inner voice you're going to listen to. Will you believe the voice of doubt? Or will you choose to believe the voice of confidence and believing in yourself? What you put your attention on expands. What you put your attention on grows. Maybe all of you may have heard it's like, I guess you'd call it a Native American parable or metaphor of which wolf will you feed? We can feed, there's the inner wolf, there's the wolf of doubt and fear, and there's the wolf of, or we could call it the wolf of self-doubt and the wolf of self-love and believing in yourself. The one that you put your attention on more, the one that you feed will grow stronger. The one that you don't feed will atrophy and become weaker. So now it's like, yeah, okay, make a choice. That's pretty simple. If it was just that easy, then none of us would really struggle with it, right? But now the principles are always simple, right? But then it's the actual application, it's the actual shift in experience. That's where the challenge can come in. So now core principle number two is reducing the emotional charge. So if we have doubt that's coming up could be from for a variety of reasons in our life, right? And a lot of the times when self-doubt comes in strong, it's because of past experiences that we've had, past imprinting, past programming, past traumas, past just intense experiences that have caused us to doubt ourselves, question life, question our capacities, feel nervous about taking risks, right? And so when the emotional charge is really strong, when the doubt and fear is really strong, it captures all of our units of attention and energy. If you have a really strong doubt or really strong fear, it's hard to feel or experience beyond it because that's just what's right metaphorically in your face, right? So it's hard to hold the vision for what you want for yourself. It's hard to see what's truly possible or have a positive vision when the doubt or the fear is really strong. So that's where we need to do things exactly like this. Take the time, work with someone, look up certain practices, which I know everyone here has done to a degree, right? And process the emotional charge. See a therapist, see a coach, do these things, right? Reach out to a wise family member. How do I work through this? How do I move beyond this? How do I lessen the strong feeling that comes up for me and hinders me so much? We have to reduce the emotional charge so it's capturing less of our units of attention and energy so that we have more freedom of choice. Once we reduce the emotional charge more, then it's easier to say, well, of course I'm going to feed this wolf and not this one. So it takes effort. We got to do that work. Core principle number 3 is embody the practice. So it can't just be, okay, I want to make the choice. I'm going to pay attention to the self-doubt, try to do one experience, one practice. I make the choice one time. Okay, now I'm good to go. It doesn't work that way. We need to then embody the practice. We need to then embody practices and disciplines that support our cultivation and our integration each day. The integration of removing the emotional charge that's hindering us, and then more and more so embodying the qualities and ways of being that we consciously want to experience. And that takes daily practice. We've all heard the saying, practice makes perfect, and I think that that statement is dumb because it's not true. But what is true is that practice makes improvement. If we steadily practice, we will steadily improve. It's not going to be perfect. We could do this for 50 years. We could be masters of our craft for 50 years. We're still going to feel some pressure. We're still going to feel some challenge when we meet our edge. We're still going to have moments of doubt. And it's not a bad thing. It's part of what molds us and strengthens us. Oh, I see. Loke said, perfect practice makes perfect. Awesome. But I think just coming back to being lifelong students on the path, being in that mindset of I'm willing to be a lifelong student, always improving, always growing, you know, even, and I was just having this conversation with someone else recently in a mastermind that I'm a part of. And it's like it it's always there, that little bit whenever you're meeting your edge, whenever you're doing something new for the first time, there's always that little bit of doubt that comes in. There's always a little bit of fear that comes in, and that's okay. It's there to strengthen us. It serves a purpose. Where the problem happens is when we allow it to overtake our experience, when we allow ourselves to say, oh, right, I'm not good enough. That voice is correct. Ugh. Like that's where the real pain comes in. And that's what we want to shift. We want that inner dialogue to turn into more of something like, okay, I'm really meeting my edge here. This is going to be tough, but I've faced challenges before and I can do this. If I stay the course, if I get the right support, if I stay steady day in and day out, this outcome is inevitable. I trust myself. I believe in myself. I feel a sense of oneness and harmony with universe, God, spirit. I know that if I stay the course, then the best and the highest good will happen. I know that I'm worthy of all the best in life, just like everyone else is. That's the expanded state of consciousness that we're aiming for. That's the underlying core state of being that allows us to experience true confidence, true self-love, true belief in ourselves. It's not just about switching from doubt to feeling confident. Now I feel confident. Positive affirmation. I'll just positive affirmation on top of this shitty feeling until I feel better. It's not about that. At least not the work that I'm interested in. I'm interested in core, like a shift at the deepest essence of your being, you tuning into the truth of who you are and knowing that if you're aligned and tuned in to the truth of who you are, that will allow the best and the highest good to come through. That will allow you to experience your full potential and and just really embody a fulfilling life journey. Is this hitting home for any of you? Is any of this resonating, helping organize some thoughts, helping tap in a little bit deeper? Okay. So now a question is, we talked about doubt, confidence. How many of you feel like you will often wait until you have enough confidence to move forward with something? You'll allow the level of confidence you feel to be your barometer of whether or not you should move forward. So I want to provide a reframe here. Now, another set of principles I want to go through quickly. The reframe is around courage, confidence, and clarity. Consistency is another C word I'll throw in here, but the main three that we want to look at right now is courage, confidence, and clarity. Got the sun coming in here. Um, so the key is actually instead of instead of looking for confidence as your barometer around moving forward, whenever we're doing something new, it's not confidence that we need to focus on, it's courage that we need to focus on. Of course, we need to have a certain level of confidence, like, yes, this is what I want to do. Yes, I feel that this is possible, right? But it's more about courage. Confidence comes from the direct experience of doing the thing for a period of time. Confidence doesn't just come out of nowhere. Confidence comes from experience. Courage is what we need to break through and really step into new ways of being and doing new things. We experience and we can tap into that courage again by creating internal reframes, making the choice of which voice we're going to listen to, and doing practices and doing integrative practices that reduce excessive emotional charge. Then we can get enough clarity and enough courage to say, gosh, I don't really know exactly what I'm doing, but I'm willing to step forward and take imperfect action and trust that I'll learn and I'll gain more as I go. And as you learn, you gain more as you go, you gain more confidence. For example, facilitating a group session like this. A handful of years ago, I had a heck of a lot less confidence than I do now, but I was still doing it. I was feeling nervous. I was like, what the heck am I going to say? I was fumbling over my words a lot, but I took the courageous steps to just do it because the only way to get better at push-ups is to do push-ups. The only way to get better at public speaking is to do public speaking. The only way to get better at jujitsu is to train jujitsu. The only way to get better at meditation is to meditate. The only way to get better at dating is to step out there and go on dates, etc., etc. Right? We have to have the courage to move forward. And then we will build that confidence through our consistency. And then comes our clarity. What you will experience if you stay committed, I guess that's another C word here. What you will experience if you stay committed and consistent in the process with courage and confidence is clarity. When you stay committed to the process with courage and confidence, then more and more clarity will come, which will feed your ability to take courageous action, which will feed the confidence that you feel, which will feed the clarity you experience. And here you are creating a positive momentum, a positive energy cycle within yourself. Courage, confidence, and clarity that grows through consistency and commitment. So I'd like to open it up to interact with each of you just for a couple minutes here, and then I want to guide you into a process. But I'd love to hear from you, just if you could share, you know, 30 to 60 seconds of what's resonating for you and feeling beneficial for you to hear and reflect on so far. So I'll just start in the top corner here, Joshua. And you're on mute, by the way. Sorry, if some of you didn't mute yourselves, I muted everyone just so there's no background noise.
Can you repeat the question again, please?
Yeah, just what's standing out, what's feeling resonant or beneficial for you so far, or what reflections are you having so far?
Um, I mean, I really resonate with the idea of, which wolf will you feed? Um, through my yoga practice, we always say energy flows where the mind goes,
Yeah.
and so yeah, just taking a moment to center in these, when the emotions get so intense, and then kind of reducing that emotional charge. That seems to be the thing that's resonating with me the most.
Okay. Awesome, man. Thank you. Right. And there's so many different ways that the different sayings, right? Different ideas around the same principles, right? Would you say where the mind goes, the energy flows?
Yeah, energy flows where the mind goes.
Energy flows where the mind goes, right? Same principle, great saying, great thing to remember. Thank you. Attila.
I'm coming into this in a real good place. And I questioned if I was going to come today, but I said I would. And I know there's always benefit in being here, centering, grounding, and learning about the process. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess where we put our attention on mostly. And what I notice is when I'm in my center, everything flows from there. So just here for the journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Attila. Great to have you with us this morning. Loke.
Um, this really helped me because I have been stuck in this one piece in my book, and I was feeling lack of confidence. But then I realized that I know how to find the answer.
Hmm.
And I've just been worried that I'm going to do it wrong. And because it's a really important piece. And so, right, and then it was like a reorientation to, you know what to do. You know what to do. You know what steps you need to take. Just do it. Right. So that was awesome. I really needed to hear that today.
Love that, Loke. So there's that other voice coming in, right? And then it's like, yeah, which one do you want to listen to? Right. And when it comes in like that, it's very clear.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So awesome. Thank you for that share, Loke. And I'm glad you're feeling that.
Yeah. I like the reorientation away from confidence.
Right. The confidence will come.
Yeah.
by taking
Yeah.
courageous action and consistently. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shauna.
Hi. Yeah, I feel like this is all really in alignment with what I've been working through personally lately. So I appreciate all this. I'm glad we're doing this specific self-doubt workshop, and I light up around courage. I just absolutely love that philosophy, and that's really what I resonate with too. And where it brings me is into like a childlike place. And I think of children when they're younger and they just believe in themselves so much that they can do anything. And it's like reaching into that light of that like spirit, because kids don't have past programming. They don't have a lot of that. So they're just so fresh and bright and anything is possible. And so I really feel into that when I'm thinking of courage, and I can feel this like deeper connection to spirit where that belief it's like anything is possible, and just get rid of all that noise that says otherwise. So I really love the courage concept.
I love that share. Thank you, Shauna. I'm glad this is resonating and feeling beneficial for you today. And
Thanks.
you reminded me of a reflection I was having as well, is that as I reflected on my own journey, which by the way, I feel I can talk on this subject of self-doubt because I've experienced it intensely in my life, right, throughout my past. And I thought, when did that really start to come in? And I noticed it was as kind of puberty age and then into my teenage years, excuse me, it really grew, this sort of inner nervousness, this inner doubt within myself. It wasn't there so much at a younger age, right? It's not there as much. It tends to grow as we have certain experiences. We get a little older. We feel the more significant pressures of life as we get older. I know for me, there are a lot of things as I was a teenager. I started to get really intimidated by certain people and certain experiences and just certain things. And that, and then had my own traumas and challenges and things. And then that self-doubt started to grow until my early 20s. I turned around and I really started focusing on my own personal development path and started to shift that in a conscious way. But yeah, it's like my son is 6 years old, and I'm often just in awe of like he's so unhinged. Like he'll talk we have a good dynamic in general, but there's also moments where he's not afraid to tell me that he's not interested in what I'm telling him. Like very, in a very strong, clear way, like, no. And I'm like, man, that's in a way, of course, I'm frustrated because I just want you to do the thing, right? But in another way, I'm like, how do I continue to support him in that being like fostering his courage to just say what he's thinking, say what he's feeling, regardless of this bigger person telling him what to do. Like I want him to embody that, even if it's kind of inconvenient for me at in the moment, right? And yeah, so I appreciate that reflection, and it's very much in line with what I've been reflecting on. And it can be good for each of us, right, to have that reflection of like, yeah, if to whatever degree doubt and fear and this kind of nervousness or hesitation has come into our lives, it's like, where did that begin? Why? And we don't have to spend an excessive amount of time just like rehashing the past, but it's helpful to kind of just feel like, get some clarity on the origin and then notice how it's progressed and how it's still impacting us now. And then from this moment, that's why we bring in beneficial practices like this, is so we can just clear, release, de-identify with the past, clear that weight, and just move forward right here, right now, with the conscious choice of how we want to be, how we want to think, how we want to live. Part of being on a personal development or a spiritual path is about constant renewal, day in and day out, this renewal. this rebirth of being, which can be, we can have big kind of intense experiences around that. It can also just be this daily kind of subtle awareness of like renewal of yourself, renewal of your being right here, right now. And that's just a good practice, a good mindset and framework to be in. Then we can have the clarity to clear the past, plan the future, act. There's a great book that's coming up for me to just mention now, Practicing Radical Honesty by, I think it's Brad Blanton. It's possible I'm saying his name incorrectly. But his simple thing that's always stuck with me when I dove into that book probably over 10 years ago now, 11, 12 years ago now with a friend of mine. And his thing was just clear the past, plan the future, act. And of course, there's a lot more that goes into that. But again, that the ability to do that simple model comes from um, an experience of a certain level of courage, confidence, and self-love. A clearing of past emotional charges to be able to sit and envision the future that you want to step into. Right? We clear the weight of the past so it's no longer capturing our units of attention and energy, which frees up our natural creativity and wisdom to envision our future. Now we can put our energy and attention into focusing on the future that draws us forward that we want to create, rather than feeling held back by the weight of the past and rehashing that. Viktor Frankl, who is famous for writing the book Man's Search for Meaning, also speaks on this topic very deeply, that it's the future that we envision for ourselves that creates aliveness and hope and passion in our lives. And so again, when we shift from focusing on the voice of self-doubt, we clear these emotional charges, we give ourselves the ability to choose to focus on a bright future that brings us alive and draws us forward. If we don't have the vision of a bright future of ourselves, the right here, right now feels dull and meaningless. If we have a bright future that's drawing us forward, a project, a mission, a purpose, a vision, now this right here, right now moment becomes alive, becomes exciting, becomes inspiring, because it's the seed that is going to grow into that incredible future. So let's take some time. Um, the aim for this is to be, 60 minutes. It's possible we might, go a few minutes over. Is there anyone that has to leave right at the top of the hour? You guys be okay if it's not going to go much longer, but if we go a few minutes over, is that okay? Cool. I left some spaciousness on the end of this as well. Um, so let's take some time to just identify and acknowledge for you to identify and acknowledge how self-doubt has been holding you back, or how actually, let's reframe that, how it's currently holding you back and to what degree. Like Attila said, he came into this in a pretty good space, right? So he might not be feeling it as strong, but he could still take some time and identify, okay, what comes up for me now? What comes in sometimes? What holds me back a little bit? Right? There's always something we can find, right? And deepen around or clear something a little more. So take a moment and write down the main way that you see self-doubt holding you back. A main way that you experience self-doubt holding you back. From living the life that you truly want to be living. And do your best to just get the essence of it. Just kind of write down a sentence or two so that you understand it, but it's the succinct essence. And then once you've done that, write down the qualities that you want to feel and experience instead. Yeah, I like what you said there in the chat, Joshua. Focus your energy on building the new, not fighting the old. Yes, yes. And that'll lead me into a next point I want to make. If does everyone feel complete with writing down the main way self-doubt's holding you back and writing down the main qualities you want to embody instead? Okay. So that's again that statement Joshua put in there. Perfect. And what I want to highlight that this practice I'm going to guide you all through right now, which I think some of you have done um, before, which will just allow you to deepen into it even more, is, in that theme of not fighting the old and focusing on building the new, sometimes there can be the tendency to um, suppress or deny what we'd call the negative feelings and just try to just affirm positive feelings, right? But we don't want to just be trying to put ice cream on top of shit because it's still going to smell bad. It's going to be still going to be hard to eat the ice cream. It's not going to be pleasant, right? So we want to actually address and clean up that shit, right? We don't just want to say, yeah, I know I'm feeling this pain, I'm feeling this doubt, but I'm just going to do positive affirmations and try not to think about those negative feelings. When they come up, I'll push them away, I'll ignore them. But suppression and resistance is what can cause the persistence. So we want to have practices that both allow us to face and feel those challenging, painful feelings, those difficult feelings, while then also choosing and affirming what we want. And what I love about this practice, which is called the equilibrium process, is it has what I just described built into it in a very efficient and seamless way, where we face and feel the pain, the challenge, and then affirm what we want to feel and experience, regardless of those challenging feelings we've faced. So I want to give you an example, and I want you to write the sentence that most resonates for you. And again, keep it simple and succinct. But the example of this process will be on one, we're going to be alternating between these statements. And on one side, you're going to say, in the past, self-doubt really held me back. And you're going to feel that. You're going to feel the doubt. You're going to feel how it's held you back. You're going to feel the pain of that. Just be present to it without trying to fix it, change it, just feeling it, feeling that reality. Then on the other side, you're going to make this statement of, even though in the past this self-doubt has held me back, now I know I can move forward with courage and really believe in myself, right? And then you'd feel that. You'd feel that knowing. You'd feel that inner strength. You'd feel that belief in yourself or that self-love, right? So keep it really simple. Make your statement of, in the past, I experienced X. And then the other statement is, even though in the past I experienced X, now I know I can experience Y. And just give me a wave when you have that. Thank you. Thank you. And again, keep it succinct and just to the essence so that the words, the simple sentence, triggers the depth for you. And we are going to begin. Okay, so you'll have your eyes closed throughout this process, but before you do, um, you're gonna make a light fist. You're gonna make two light fists, and I'm lifting them so you see, but you're gonna rest them on your desk or on your lap, wherever's natural for you. And I'm going to be guiding you to just stick out your fingers. So as we do the rounds, you'll be sticking out your fingers and keeping them out once you stick them out. And we'll go through them. This is how we track the rounds that we do until your hands are sitting open. Okay. So that's just this sort of somatic piece of this process. The other thing that makes this process really effective is, again, not just stating the words, but really doing your best to feel what arises within you as you make these statements. You're going to state them out loud, right? You're all on mute, so you're not going to be speaking over each other or hearing others, right? So you'll repeat after me and you'll make your statement the one that's genuine to you. And then you'll feel what arises as you make the statement. And do your best not to suppress or resist anything, but to feel fully what comes up. Give your best effort to feel fully what arises as we go through the process. This usually takes 10 minutes, about roughly 10 minutes. So you'll have your eyes closed throughout that and just do your best to be fully present with it. That sound good to everyone? Ready? All right, let's dive in. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a couple centering breaths, just like we centered at the beginning. Tune back in to your center, your breath. And you'll stick out your left thumb. And then you'll make your statement out loud of, in the past, I. You'll keep your eyes closed throughout this and just really feel that in the past, I allowed self-doubt to really hold me back. Say whatever it is for you. And now really feel this. Feel how this has impacted you. Notice how it feels in your body. Notice the thoughts, the emotions, the images that come. And then take a deep breath in through your nose and a full exhale out your mouth. Now you'll stick out your right thumb and you'll say, even though in the past now I know I can. And now really feel this knowing. Feel this knowing, feel this affirmation. Take a deep breath in and a full exhale. Stick out your left index finger and you'll say, in the past, the same statement from before. In the past, and then really feel it and face it. Feel it and face it. Take a deep breath in and a full exhale. Stick out your right index finger And you'll say, even though in the past now I know I can. Really feel that. Really tap into that knowing. Tap into these positive feelings. Take a deep breath in and a full exhale. You'll stick out your left middle finger and you'll say, in the past, I stay with the same statement. Really feel it. Take a deep breath in and a full exhale. You're all doing great. Continue to stay deeply focused, just like this. Right middle, stick out your right middle finger, and you'll say, even though in the past now I know I can. Feel that fully. Say it with energy. Take a deep breath in and a full exhale. You'll stick out your left ring finger and you'll say, in the past, I. In the past, I allowed that voice of self-doubt to hold me back, to hesitate and stay behind the line. Take a deep breath. Stick out your right ring finger. Now you'll say, even though in the past now I know I can. Really feel this as you take a full deep breath. You'll stick out your left pinky finger. So now your left hand is sitting open, relaxed and open. And you'll say, in the past, I. And really feel anything else that's there. Actually try to feel what's there. Try to feel the doubt. And take a full deep breath. Stick out your right pinky finger, both hands sitting open. Even though in the past now I know I can. Feel this fully, feel what's here. Take a full deep breath. And now notice what you're feeling right here, right now. Just center in this moment. Feel your body, your energy, your mind. And just in a word or two, what are you feeling right now? Take a moment, feel that for yourself. What would you call what you're feeling or experiencing right now? And then please just stay centered. You're just going to open your eyes to put that in the chat, whatever you're feeling right here, right now. And then you can go back to um, being present with your eyes closed, just so I can get a sense of where each of you are at. The truth, thank you. Trusting myself over the noise, thank you. Peace, love, presence, thank you. Okay, so whatever you're feeling, so now close your eyes and put your attention on that. That trust, that truth, that peace, whatever it is for you. Really feel this. Have your eyes closed and just feel this. And as you feel this, envision that you're feeling it all through you. Allow yourself to feel it all through your body, all through your energy. And then envision that you're expanding this feeling out like a wave in all directions, all around you. Expanding infinitely in front of you and behind you. Expanding infinitely to your left and to your right. Expanding infinitely up and infinitely down. Just taking a few more breaths here and expanding in all directions. One more deep breath in and a full exhale. You can open your eyes. And now just reflect on what you're even more conscious of now from doing that practice, that process. What are you even more conscious of now, and what was good about this for you? Go ahead and just write that down for yourself. And then I'd love just briefly hear from each of you. How would you succinctly express what you're more conscious of now and what was good about this for you? Attila.
Uh, More presence to the here and now.
Awesome. Thank you, Attila. Shauna.
Yeah, I can really feel the edge. And in my process, I was aware of some really old limiting beliefs that came from my lineage. So I can feel this like busting through the edge with, yeah, courage and yeah, could really see the line there.
Love it. Thank you. Awesome. Loke.
I really clearly saw my mother's criticism and gaslighting, and went, "Wow, that's not even my voice. That's not my voice." And
Yes.
it's not me. It's not my voice. And I really was able to really embody that.
Okay, that's beautiful. I'm so grateful to hear that, Loke, that awareness came up for you, right? And that's another great point. This voice of doubt might not even be ours, right? Gosh.
That's what I experienced, like when I was the same feeling, like that's not
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. And this is what happens when we do these practices consistently. I know, like, just everyone here, but Shauna and Loke, both of you sharing that, it's like you've both been doing intentional conscious healing practices for a long time, right? And it's like when you do it consistently, you open up, you're always opening up more possibility to just have these moments of awareness, right? We have them all the time, right? And that allows us to keep moving forward in more and more of a free and empowered way, right? So really, again, just an important testament to why we consistently do these practices, why we consistently do this work. So then, boom, okay, great. There's another good, deep awareness of what's not me, what I don't have to identify with. Ah, my whole being becomes lighter. I'm not carrying that anymore. And then again, reduction of emotional charge, freedom from identification, more empowered choice to what we want. Joshua.
Um, Something that was coming up really strong for me was just becoming very aware of my fears and insecurities, and realizing that's not me. It's just a story that I tell myself, and it's loud and it's overwhelming sometimes. But reducing that emotional charge and finding the courage to face those fears and insecurities and try to
Yes.
heal and move forward.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Great work today. Great work doing exactly that. You're doing it, you know? So the shifts are inevitable. Thank you, man. Okay, now each of you just reflect on what's an action that you can take. What's one more action you can take today to support this integration, right? Integration is a key theme and word that I focus on in my work, and how we define integration is lasting and permanent change, where something that once was a problem and was holding you back no longer is. And we do that again through the consistent practice, through the consistent embodiment and focus. So, what's one thing you can do today to support your integration, your deepened awareness? The first step is this kind of processing. The second step is action. Or maybe, we just have a moment. A first step could be, we could also call it reflection. Maybe we have some kind of challenge, something going on. We take some breaths, we slow down, we reflect, we allow for a deeper presence and wisdom to flow through, and then we take action. And that's what we did here today. But the action, there's action, there is, you can be supported in taking action, but ultimately it comes down to you. Ultimately, for the actions I need to take, it comes down to me. The embodiment of that courage, that tenacity, that dedication, day in and day out, taking the actions that we know. We clarify that voice of knowing, and we know what we need to do. So, did you all find this? Was this valuable today? Okay, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to have each and every one of you join this session today. For anyone who's been watching the recording. Grateful to have you engaging and watching the recording here. Um, I want to share, as I mentioned, as some of you may have seen in any of the posts or messages I shared, that I also have a new membership program that I'm rolling out as a way for people to engage and receive, the consistent work um, ongoingly with a very minimal investment. And anyone who's already working with me one-on-one, just this is just part of what you get, part of um, you get access to this ongoingly. But what I've called it to bring a little bit of a fun energy to it, but also because I feel like this is what it is, I'm calling it the no-brainer membership um, program. And it's just $27 a month. And what some of you may have seen is I've been doing the free monthly Get Tuned In sessions for a couple years now. And what I'm going to do now is actually I'm going to roll that into a monthly membership. Okay. So what this monthly membership gets you is you get to come to the one group session per month. And then you also get to be on the private Facebook group that I've created where you can ask questions of me and engage with me, as much as you want. And I'll also be posting just specific exclusive posts and content onto that Facebook page that's meant to be supportive towards the people who are, who are working with me. What you'll also get in that membership program is first information, first access to spots on retreats that I'm doing or different events or workshops, as well as discount pricing on those. So I'm excited to roll this out. I'm excited for it to be this way that people that maybe you're not in a place where you want to say, yeah, the deep investment of the one-on-one work. I'm not needing that now. I'm not able to do that now. But hey, you can get a once a month group session and be part of the Facebook group. So if that interests you, just let me know, and I can share with you the link. Again, anyone who's working with me one-on-one, this is just rolled into part of what you get. Um, so yeah. I have a payment link and it'll just create a recurring payment for this monthly session. So if that is inspiring to you or you know anyone else that might be inspired to take advantage of this, then you can send them my way or connect us through a three-way text. At the moment, does anyone have any questions about that or anything else that you'd like to connect about today before we complete? Okay. Let's go around just to make some really just simple connection to close out. I'd love to hear just one word. What's one word that you would express of what you've got out of today or what you're taking away? Joshua.
I guess it would be take action.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Attila.
Stay connected to truth.
Thank you. Loke.
Action and flow. Like, oh, I'm like writing all these ideas down that are
Yeah,
flowing.
coming through. Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Shauna.
you.
Yeah, my word feels like reinforcement. Feels like this
Ah,
reinforced my direction.
cool. Thank you, Shauna. All right. Thank you, each and every one of you, for coming today. It's such an honor and a pleasure. And you can reach out to me to connect anytime. Of course, you know. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all next time you join one of these sessions. I'll be continuing to do these kind of webinars as well, just to share with people, the experience of the work that I do. And so if you know anyone that would benefit from this work and they might like to come to a free webinar that I'm doing, please, feel free to share my info about that as well. And yeah, I hope you all have an absolutely blessed rest of your day. And yeah, I'll see you soon.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.